So now you have the Charm series, and it's coming out November 13th, as far as we know. What's the difference between this one and all the other paddles that you guys released?
We're going to release it in 3 different shapes, which is our more or less standard shapes. V is wide body or wide body for V shape. S is more standard or hybrid shape. And X is elongated shape. We do have another shape, which is E, but we're kind of modifying it a little bit right now. So the E shape will come a little bit later to this series. This is our first full foam paddle. And the paddles are known to have some generations, like Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4. Gen 1 is just cold pressed honeycomb paddles. Gen 2 is thermoform. Gen 3 is some of the foam inside the honeycomb, and Gen 4 is the fully foam paddles. So this is our Gen 4 fully foam paddle. And what makes it different from other foam paddles is that we use incised foam block. What that means is we make an incisions on each side of the foam. And I want to show it to the camera directly, right? So you can see it here. We have incisions which cuts approximately 25% on each side and allows the core to open up, to bend, or to flex, right? So both sides. Compared to the regular foam, which is more rigid, right? So you can't really bend it the same way like you do with incisions. For Charm series, we chose horizontal type of incisions for 25% depth, and that increases the dwell time of the paddle significantly. But at the same time, keep it powerful, right? So the power is something that people are looking up for these days, but the goal of the Charm and kind of the long story short of the Charm is that the Charm is the predictable power, the power that you can tame and the power that you can harness. So far, the initial feedback from the players was that it's the paddle that a little bit lower on power compared to high power paddles, but it's the enough power for you to stay competitive, but at the same time the dwell time adds to the spin potential significantly, so you drives deep like over the net, and you serves deep well, but at the same time you have enough dwell time to control the ball well, so you don't have this unpredictable power that you have to adjust for a long period of time. You can easily pick it up and play with it the next day. So it's very short adjustment period for it. If you played with the Pulse series, it will be very easy to transition because this is basically an upgrade. It has the same plush soft feel, but it will give you more power and more pop out of the box. So I think in terms of the feeling, you will not lose anything. So you're just going to enjoy it from the beginning. And you're going to enjoy the fact that you can get more power from it. So yeah, I think it's going to be very easy adjustments from the Pulse series. If you do play with Harmony, this might be a little bit heavier because the average weight is 8.15 ounces, where the Harmony comes below 8. So yeah, if you do prefer lighter swing weight and lighter static weight, the Harmony will be more of a paddle for you. But if you don't mind it and you want more juice and you want more power but still the soft plush feel, the Charm is going to be your choice.
For the people that don't know, I mean, let's say you just started playing pickleball, what is dwell time?
Dwell time basically is how long the ball stays on the paddle during the point of contact. And there might be some ways to measure it with slow motion cameras.
So I think it's more like a feeling that you get.
Yeah, it's more of a feeling, right? It's the same of control, right? How do you measure control? It's very difficult to quantify it in terms of the numbers. So yeah, basically when the paddle is flexes, right? So it flexes in the opposite direction of the ball. So it allows the ball to stay on the paddle a little bit longer. And with the normal course, it's just a touch and release. So it's way bigger dwell time. And the initial report said that probably Charm is the most dwelly, soft and plush feeling full foam power paddles out there.
Most paddles are solid inside. The foam itself is solid. How did you come up with the idea of cutting it?
That's very interesting. I was just sitting there and I had a solid foam block. I have a solid foam block in front of me, and I was thinking, what else can we do here to to modify it and to make it different from what the rest of the market does. And I noticed a case nearby. You know the case for photography? You probably know it very well. And some of those cases for photography, they use like a ribbed foam, so you can separate in the different sections.
So you can pull out the little sections.
Yes, so you can pull out these little sections. And I thought, okay, what if we do the same thing, put inside of the pickleball paddle? In theory, it sounded really, really good because, you know, it allows you to separate the core into different sections and to distribute, you know, to kind of make a more gradual energy distribution across the surface. So it seemed like a very good thing to try. So we started. The first prototype that we ever made was this. So this is the vertical incisions, probably around 3-4 millimeters deep. And ignore the cuts here. This is, you know, this is for weight reduction, but the idea here was to make it flex vertically. We realized that the vertical flex attributes to more power, and the more power, it's not exactly what I was looking for. I wanted something more predictable. I wanted the predictable power to happen. So we tried horizontal incisions, and horizontal incisions definitely improve the dwell time, just like they do on Charm. This is the Charm core. We did the combination of both. We did vertical and horizontal at the same time. We adding also the pre-molded foam in those corners. So instead of having the floating core like most of the paddles do, we just have the 4 corner paddings inside. So we don't allow the core to, you know, to move inside of the floating core like most of the paddles do. So those pre-molded foam paddings with combination of the horizontal incisions, it makes it powerful enough for most of the players, but at the same time it gives the dwell time that probably none of the paddles, at least the full foam paddles, have. So I think that's the great benefit of the Charm, by having and maximizing this dwell time and the plush feel that most of the people expect from the full foam. I think these prototypes will be used in our future developments. We're currently working on it. You know, if we're releasing this, it doesn't mean that R&D is fully stopped. We're still working on it. We did see some drawbacks with the, you know, with the cuts like this when you have combination of those, because it might not be as durable as you're going one direction, because, you know, you have those connection points where it might become fragile over time, and these connection points are some of the concerns that we want to, you know, look over for a longer time. So we don't want to release it quickly, so we just keep iterating, keep working on it, and I think that this diced core is the great start for us and a great base for the future developments. It just allows you to play around with depth, with number of incisions, right? Right now I have like 6 and I can have 8, and I can increase the depth from 3 millimeter to 5 millimeter, right? So I can apply those different like variables and get the different characteristic from the paddle that I want, or I can choose a different foam density. For example, this is a first very dense foam, and this is the foam we ended up with. And there's other foam that we're gonna use in the future paddles, right? So just a combination of those variables and gives us a very good, I think, base for future developments. And I'm very, very, very looking forward to it. And I think you're gonna love Charm a lot. I personally love Charm, and I think most of the people will. I think this is the power. This is more than enough power for most of the people, but at the same time, a very good amount of dwell and spin potential that I think people will absolutely like.
Would you call this a pro paddle, or would you call this like a transitional? Like, I started playing pickleball, I've been playing 6 months, but I want to transition and still keep my paddle as I go into the pros. I
think I can absolutely use this paddle for the pro level. There is enough power to stay competitive at the pro level, and you can activate that power if you have enough skills. Obviously, you know, if you're high level player, you definitely have enough swing to it, so you can activate that power. But at the same time, it allows you to make mistakes. It gives you a certain amount of forgiveness, dwell time that I was talking about, to generate spin, and at the same time stay in prediction of your power, right? Predictable power. That's the great definition that I think most of the people give it.
Cool.
I mean, anyone can pick this paddle and play with it comfortably. But I probably recommend to play with it if you're 3.5 plus level, and yeah, up to pro. Even not up to pro, there's no higher limit.
Yeah.
You can be the best in the world and you can still play with it. So
I have a question which I'm sure a lot of people are asking that just started out, but they still want an awesome paddle. What's the difference between the width? Why would you pick a narrower paddle versus a wider one?
it's just a matter of preference, right? For example, I play with the wide body because I play less than I want to play, and I need more consistency. So the wide body allows me to make some errors, but at the same time, it keeps the sweet spot bigger, so it allows me to make mistakes. It forgives me more.
You could say, I was about to say that it basically makes it more forgivable.
Yeah, it's exactly correct. It makes it more forgivable, but at the same time, it's usually lower powerful because of the swing weights. And if you are coming from racket sport background, probably the wide body is not your natural choice because you get used to this longer swings and you want the sweet spot be a little bit higher, and this when the hybrid comes in, right? The hybrid is kind of, look, I don't know if I can call it hybrid actually. It's 16.4 inches long and 7.6 inches wide, so it's not necessarily hybrid, but it's more a little bit longer. So if you feel like you're missing the balls on the top, like you don't get enough length, this is the paddle you should choose, just because you're getting more length, but you're sacrificing the sweet spot a little bit. And this is elongated, right? The elongated is even longer, and it has a little bit longer handle. So this is mostly the choice of the tennis players, right? Because they prefer the double-handed backhands and longer swings. It just has more swing weight on it as well, right? So if I compare X shape, it's 122 in terms of the swing weight, and this one is 116 in terms of the swing weight. So you have more weight higher on the paddle. So it's like a hammer, right? So if you have a hammer like this, it's going to be very light to maneuver, right?
Yeah.
But if you have a hammer like this, it's more difficult.
Right.
So, but this is just a Pickleball 101, right? So this is, it's not necessarily limited to the charm series. It's just in generally the difference between elongated, like more standard, and wide body shapes.
Okay, there are regulation length for the handle that's like the maximum, and you can't make it any longer.
There is no regulation for handle, but there is a maximum limit for the paddle cannot be longer than 17 inches.
Okay, so then you're compressing and extending the entire
the total length.
So
if I want, I can make it like
6.5,
but the paddle will be like this. And so T paddle, we can call it charm T. But there is also overall dimension regulation. So even though 17 is the maximum, you cannot exceed 24 in the sum of the width and the length. So if this is 17, this is 7. This is 16, this is 8.
Oh, okay. So there's actual like balance that has to be kept.
Yes.
So I had an idea. Why not put the logo in the middle? And I'll tell you why I said that. It's not just about your racket, but like I went to the store when we were at the championships, and I saw almost no one puts it in the middle in the sweet spot. And like, why is that? Wouldn't that be the most logical thing visually?
Look, if you are comparing it to like beach racket or padel tennis, where you can see the logo right in front of you, this is a little bit different because most commonly in pickleball industry, you use what's commonly called raw material. Raw material means that you have a peel ply texture, which is like a resin that is applied over the material that is creating the texture for you to generate spin.
Right.
Now try to touch it with your finger here and touch it with your finger here. So when you print over it, you can feel
it's more slippery.
It's smoother, right? So you don't want to smooth out your spin in the middle to sacrifice the spin that the players can get. So usually most of the paddles are avoiding this area to print, and maybe some not avoid it, but we prefer to avoid it at this time.
So tell me what's different about the surface of this paddle, because I looked, it's almost 3D like.
Absolutely. So this surface is 3K aramid fiber, which is not new to our development. For example, we use the same surface in the Pulse series, but just in different color. This color is more vibrant, more Halloween-y color. So if you like pumpkin, that's probably for you. But yeah, we prefer it to the carbon fiber in general, but it's just, it doesn't mean that carbon fiber is better or aramid fiber is better, it's just a personal preference. I think it's long-term proven that both of those materials are pretty commonly used, and it's just if you prefer more muted feel, you go with aramid. If you want less muted feel, this is carbon fiber, and we have both, right? On Harmony, we're using carbon fiber, and on Pulse and Charm, we're using aramid fiber in those vibrant colors. If you do want to attribute the unique aesthetics, it's gonna make it more difficult to do it with carbon fiber, because carbon fiber is just black, right? So you can do anything here, but the aramid fiber allows us to, make paddles like this, bright and vibrant, and the Pulse was lavender and purple, deep purple, and yeah, so this is basically the surface, and the same thing. It's the peel ply texture here. So, but the most spin potential that comes to this paddle comes from the core, because it improves the dwell time. So we kind of bet that the spin potential to this paddle is mostly coming not from the grid, but from the dwell time that the core creates.
And I actually really like the orange. I don't know what other people are smoking, but
look, you can please everyone, right? So somebody will like it, somebody will not like it. If you do want to stand out on the court, we just had an idea that we wanted to make something, aesthetically unique. So when you come to the court, you can see it and like, oh my God, what is this? So yeah, you naturally curious, like, what is this? Because it's so easy to see that it's different from others. And yeah, so, but we're gonna make a blackout version, as I mentioned. So if people are concerned about vibrant colors, we're gonna cover you, no worries. We just want to make sure you're enjoying the paddle as well.